screencast is going to show you how to check Powtoons' privacy policy. So to start, I'm going to have two tabs open. The first one is just a blank tab. This is where I'm going to take a look at the Powtoons privacy policy. The second tab I'm going to have open is the little checklist that will kind of walk me through what I need to be looking for, just as something to reference. So in my new tab, I'm going to go ahead and look for the privacy policy. I recommend, rather than going to powtoons.com and searching through all of their information, you just type in the name of the website, Powtoons, along with privacy policy, and it will show it to you right away. There's no searching, really. It's very quick. So once I'm here, you can see there's quite a bit of information. So rather than reading everything on here, I'm going to go back to my checklist and I'm going to kind of start walking myself through the process. So first I'm going to need to know, will a student need to create an account? I can go back to my privacy policy and it does talk about right there, students can sign up for a free account. So yes, they are going to have to. Because I'm kind of checking off yes on this top part, I'm going to have to keep going to everything in blue. Usually when you sign up for an account, you are giving that website some information. So next I'm going to move on to some age restrictions in the privacy policy, and I want to see, is it under 13, kind of following what COPPA is advising. No child under 18, there are a few of these that it applies to students under 18. Does it not specify, or maybe they have something a little bit different? So going back to Powtoons, I'm going to take a look at age restrictions, and usually you can kind of follow their headers here, their little subtopics, subtitles, and they'll kind of let you know. For Powtoons, it's actually down here in their Child Online Privacy Protection Act. And as reading those couple sentences, I can see that they do not recommend their website for anyone who is under 13, kind of going along with COPPA. So as I go back to my checklist, I can say, all right, no child under 13, and then I need to figure out, does this actually impact the students I'm teaching? If you're in the elementary, that'll definitely be a yes. If you're at the middle school, maybe a yes, maybe a no, depends on the grade you're teaching. High school, you're probably going to check a no, but I do recommend you kind of look into it. You might have a student every now and then who skips grades and their age doesn't match up with their peers. Now, regardless if it's yes or a no, I do recommend you kind of keep looking. If you checked yes, you're going to have to. You might need to send out an extra permission slip or make sure the parents sign that COPPA agreement. If it's a no, you're not going to need any kind of parent permission for anything, but it is kind of best practice just to take a look at how these companies are using your information and your students' information. So I can check off yes, they're going to, under 12 is going to affect my students. Now I need to take a look at what types of information is collected. I can go back to Powtoons. I'm going to go up to the top. And it talks about in that very first sentence, they're going to ask for information such as my name, email address, home address, credit card information, and profession. So these first two, not a problem. They can use their school Google accounts. The home address, credit card information is a little weird, but my students are not purchasing a Powtoon subscription. I know myself when I signed up that they're only going to ask for their address or their credit card info if they're buying something. My students will not have to do that. So just using their name and email address and their profession, for students that would be just student. Kind of checking off here, they're not using a ton of information, so I'm still pretty good there. Just using their name and their email address, and maybe their profession is student, but not an identifying piece of information. And last, I want to move on to how is it used. So are they using it just to kind of improve their own website? Are they sending out newsletters and updates? Are they publishing website statistics? You know, how many people use Powtoons every year? Are they selling the information? This is what I need to look for. So again, I can go back to the Powtoons privacy policy, and they've got a whole section here about how do they use that information. So they're going to process transactions. That's probably if you're buying stuff, they're going to give you the product that you're purchasing. They're going to help make their website better. They're going to provide customer service with it and maybe send a couple emails with some new information. So again, they're not really selling the information. They're not providing it to any kind of third company who's going to use it for advertising. So they're just kind of helping, keeping the information private and using it to help their own website. Very simple, very quick. So while my students will need to sign up for an account, they are being responsible about how they're using the information and what information is being collected. So as long as my students are 13 or over, or their parents have signed that COPPA agreement, this website is good to go.